Buongiorno, cruiser. You are looking forward to that Italian cruise and you are wanting to go to Venice, but you see on your itinerary it actually says Ravenna. And this isn't quite a part two to the other video, but this video I am going to tell you how to get from Ravenna to Venice or the other way, because it is certainly worth going if you have the time to do it. And if you are new to Cruise Port Captain, we are a couple who are over 50 and we've been cruising for over 20 years. We've been to over 100 ports and we mostly do it on our own the days that we're in ports. And the whole purpose of our channel is to share what we've learned over the years, the good, the bad, so you benefit from us and make sure every port day counts. So let's get ready and go to Venezia. I'm going to approach this as if you are starting in Ravenna. So, really, there's only a few ways that Ravenna and Venice work together. So, you could have a port day in Ravenna, which is very rare. In the other video about Ravenna, we highly discourage you probably not to do it in a day, but hey, that's up to you. It could be the start or the end of your cruise. So you could be leaving from Ravenna, or it's where your cruise ends. So lots of cruises do that, where they go up and down around the boot. And then you could also have a round trip from Ravenna. So that is where I'm going to start from a talking point, but you can absolutely reverse this. Like if you start in Venice and you need to get to Ravenna to catch your ship. And you can see here we are in on the ship in Ravenna, and you can see that it's a very commercial port, and that's going to come into play in just a second. The point of view here is that you are starting from the ship and you are disembarking. And so, with that in mind, your first challenge is actually going to be reaching the city from your ship, because you saw in the other picture that it's a very commercial port. So, you cannot just walk off the ship and you're going to be near a train station. So there'll be lots of taxis there, but as you can imagine, there's going to be a lot of people wanting those taxis, and it could be costly and limited availability, but it's probably going to be the fastest. I mean, it really depends on how you time it and how lucky you are. And then what our experience was is a cruise line provided a shuttle that took us from the ship all the way into the city, where it's going to be our next stop. And here you can see how far apart they are, and that's why it's really difficult to do it in one day. So Ravenna is down in the lower right, and it is about 90 miles from Venice. So you can see why it would be challenging to do it in a one day. It's also why it's challenging to use an Uber, because you can't, obviously. I think of it geographically, we're in Florida, so it's like you're in Orlando and you want to get to Tampa, and it's about 2 hours away. So it's not so far that you have to fly, or you can fly, but it's also not close enough that you can really drive it yourself and leave your car parked. And that's kind of the challenge that's here, is that it's just far enough apart that it's annoying. But I'm going to tell you 4 options to make it less annoying and get you to your final destination. This quick picture is just to give you an idea why it is all worth it. This is one of the big bridges in uh, Venice, the Ponte del Rialto. And so it is completely worth it to go through all this, to spend a couple of days in Venice. Option number one will be to use the public transportation train. So I already talked about two of it, the getting the ship to the shore, and then you're going to go to the train station and take the train to Venezia, Venice. I keep saying Venezia because in Americans, I know I always thought when I first went to Europe that things would be spelled the same way and sound the same way as they do in English. No, they don't. Like, it's very naive of me. It's like in Venice, it's said like Italian, Venezia. And then once you take the train, you'll end up in Venice. Easy enough. Now I'm going to show you the train options, though. It is very easy to buy a ticket now on a train from Europe. So you can put an app on your phone, trainline.com. So these are absolutely real screenshots from my phone. So I opened up the trainline.com excuse me, app, and then I put in my locations. Where did I want to go? And to give you a sense of price point, so this is $20 a person, and this is actually quoted in US dollars. And things you always want to look at when you're doing this, though, is the timing. You cannot get off the boat and to the train station by 7:12 in the morning. That's just going to be impossible. That's not realistic. So when you're purchasing tickets, you want to be sure that you're checking for the right time. And then on the other screen, once you go a bit further, this will require a train change at one point, though. And what's really nice about the app is it tells you where the train change is, exactly what time it is. So this one is leaving at 7:12 from Ravenna. It's going to show up at 8:27. I don't have my glasses on. At Ferrara, you're going to change trains, and then you got back on at 8:43 to head to Venice, Santa Lucia. So it's so easy now. You don't have to worry. It actually tells you where all the train platforms are. That'll just make it so you can do this. You can do this. And as you can see, it's going to be about $20 a person and really could be cost efficient, but it's also a great way to see the country. That's the way I love trains. Critical to keep in mind about Venetia or Venice is where is your final destination. So if you have your luggage with you and you want to stop at your hotel first, not unwise, you want to be sure and check with the hotel and find out which train station is nearest your hotel and the directions to get from the train station to your hotel. So Santa Lucia is the central train station, but there's another one, I think it's called Miesta, that's also big. So one's on land. Maestra is on land. Santa Lucia is actually on the island. If you pre-pick as your tickets, do not go best case scenario. Like in the last frame, don't pick a 7:12 a.m. ticket because you're not going to get there by 7:12 a.m. and you don't want to worry about that. So pick a reasonable time or just wait till the day that you are there so you can purchase your tickets. If you travel by train, we have found that it always helps to pack light. We usually just do carry-ons in a personal bag. You may think it's impossible, but we've done several cruises like this. One, we did it because our luggage got lost once and we didn't like that feeling anymore. And also when you're trying to train trains and run up and down stairs, it's just easier the lighter you are. So if you go by train, it's helpful to be light. If you pick a first class ticket, the cost, I don't believe it was very much different, and that'll put you in a quieter cabin. You may want to look for reserve seating, especially with everybody getting off the cruise. It might be worth it to spend the extra money to get reserved tickets. And if you are, for any options, this is a repeat of what I said before, just know where the closest station is to where you finally want to end up for the day, because you don't want to be in a train station that is another 3 kilometers or another 2 miles, because 2 miles doesn't seem like a lot until you're carrying a lot of luggage with you. Option two is a coach or a bus. Now, in America, we don't use buses very often. We are so individually car heavy, but in Europe, it's absolutely a great way to travel. They're always clean. They always have Wi-Fi. Flixbus is very popular, one of the biggest carriers. We've been on them several times. They've never had a problem. If you watch the Ravenna video, you know that we had some trouble and we were on a Flixbus for 20 hours and we survived. Now, we hope you're not going to do that because the trip to Venice is not that long, but it's a very easy way to also get from point A to point B. And they have several stops in Venice as well. So again, another thing you want to check with your final destination to help you pick where you should end. But you can go right to their website. Also, you could buy these tickets on trainline.com. That was new information to me. And it'll give you some prices here. So again, this is a time, so 9 o'clock in the morning, 3 hours and 15 minutes, not bad. Lowest price is $15 a person. Very doable. So one way is going to cost you about, $30. And then the evening one at 5:30, of course, that makes sense because more people are traveling at that time. and that goes to $34 a person. So coaches are a very viable, economical, easy way. You're also going to see the countryside. You simply bring your luggage, throw it down in the storage area, sit on the bus, and enjoy Italy. Option three is use a private car. This is a option if you have a big party. Maybe that works better for you, or you have some extra flexibility, or you need some extra flexibility. So I did get some prices. So this was with Get Your Guide, but you can also use Viator to book those as well. And of course, you're going to get more concierge private service if you do private car. But as you can see, it can be quite expensive. So that might be something you need to shop around a little bit for. I did a really light search, but if it's something that interests you, you probably want to go a little bit more in depth. Contact the guide or when you book it, and maybe there's some wiggle room with the cost, or you can share it with some other people as you are on the cruise. You end up meeting people who want to do the same thing. So maybe you find another party who want to take the ride with you, and then it all makes sense for everybody. So that's another option, hire a private car. An option for absolutely the cruise line is going to offer some transfer options. So this may be the easiest for you if you don't have any time and you are going to go right home, you need to fly out, um, or you're coming in and you need to transfer into Ravenna. Our caution here is that you want to be sure that if you are leaving this ship and you want to go to Venice, that the only stop isn't the airport. So what I mean by that is that you have to go to the airport and then you're staying a couple of days, and then you have to figure out how you get yourself to the next stop, which is probably your hotel. So that would be kind of logistically a caution if you decide to use the cruise ship option. So just be very clear, kind of get your timeline in your head. If you want, we have a planner for purchase that can help you plan out your day, and the link is in the description. But, as we say with everything, you got to plan and time out. When are you getting to point A? How are you going to get to point B? And how much time do you need? And are they next to each other? Because it may look next to each other on a map and it ends up being not a straight line, which could very much happen in Venice or Venezia. Finally, if you're looking for a place to stay, this is where we stayed at the Hotel Adua. You can see this is from Expedia.com. If you're interested in it, there is an affiliate link in the description. It is a traditional Italian pensione, though, so it's not going to be a Marriott or Hilton. It's really going to give you a traditional feel. And it was so tiny, we walked by it, I think, at least 3 times, but it was really a true, authentic experience, and we enjoyed ourselves while we were there. And one last look, like, why is it worth it to go to Venice? This is a quieter day. I think we were there. This was probably one of the nights when we were walking around, and it was much quieter than it was in the day. Because my final piece of advice, I keep playing with my little board here. It's going to be busy especially during the day when there's extra tourists there. They're coming in from the mainland. Just go with it. And if you have the opportunity to stay at night, going out at night is very special. Having a dinner in one of the squares is just lovely, where you really get to embrace the dolce vita, the sweet life. If you we hope you have the opportunity to spend a couple of days on either side of your cruise in Venice and make the most of it. Well, grazie for watching the video all the way to the end. We truly hope you enjoy your time in Venice, whether you're at the beginning of your cruise or at the end of your cruise. Seeing Italy in general is just really life changing and just an exquisite trip. So we're really excited for you to go. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the below. As you know, we are a young channel, so if you could subscribe, that would be a huge favor to us. Just take that second. Cost you nothing, but it means the world to us. And if you enjoyed it and you have friends who are traveling, please share the channel with them too. We really hope that what we've learned over the years is a benefit to you, and you just have a fantastic voyage, whether you're coming near or far. You're going to have a great time. So make life a bon voyage, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.